Karen is with us in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Hi, Karen. How are you?
Hey, good, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay, I hear what you say about keeping up with others and that people have this urge to want to buy, to keep up with the Joneses. Mm-hmm. My problem is I don't care about the Joneses. I don't need their cars. I don't need their homes. I've had plenty of nice cars. I've had plenty of nice homes. Much of them are money pits anyway. But my problem is the opposite. I worry that people won't like me or look at me as a decent person unless I have nice things. Unless I don't compare myself to others, but if somebody came in to my house and thought, oh, your furniture needs to be replaced, or, oh, your hair, you need better highlights, or where did you get those clothes, I feel like I'm horrified that people won't like me unless I have nice things. So I kind of have the opposite problem. And it's faulty here. Something's faulty. Mm-hmm. What advice do you have for that type of thinking?
Well, one of the benefits that I had when Sharon and I went broke, I was 28. We had babies, a toddler and a brand new baby. Rachel was born that year. And I was more shallow, more like you're talking about earlier, not you, but like where I was real concerned about that, if I get this car, I was getting stuff to show off, I was that shallow.
Okay.
That kind of guy, right? And so,
mm-hmm.
But going through that 2.5 years of losing everything and fighting with these bankers and really having not only a huge life experience, but a spiritual transformation during that time as well, my walk with God changed substantially. I used to laugh and say I met God on the way up. I got to know him on the way down. You know what I mean? So, when you go through hell, it changes you. And so what ended up happening was I went from a person who cared very much what everyone thinks to a person who doesn't care at all. Way too far the other way.
To hear you say that stresses me out, that you don't care at all. How do you not care at all? You're speaking Greek when you say that, because I just don't connect with that. Yeah. That's my struggle.
I know. That's what I thought. That's what I thought you were saying. So that's why I told you the story.
And I'm spending too much to have things just so people think I'm adequate.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the thing. It's not people think you adequate. It's someone that you care what their opinion is. And so what we all have is this concentric circles in our lives. Like if you drop a pedal in the water, the circle's going out like a target, okay? The ones in the closest rings to us are the ones we care what they think the most. The ones way in the distance, we care less what they think, or we should. In other words, your closest family members, the people who love you, they're concerned about you, they're concerned about your future, they should have the most influence with you, your closest friends. The people that are, if some stranger at a stoplight rolls their eyes about your car, who gives a rip? They're in one of those way outer rings, you know what I'm saying? And so sure. I think you need to start establishing that clearly and say, whose condemnation is it that I'm really fearing here? And if it's someone inside those close circles, then is that a toxic relationship? For instance, maybe I'll just make up something, okay? Let's pretend there was a person like you whose mother was very shallow and very vocal and judged you based on they roll their eyes. Okay. And rolling your eyes is a sign of contempt. It is one of the worst things you can do to anyone. It's one of the most disrespectful things. And so kind of what you're saying is, I'm afraid people are rolling their eyes about my couch or about my clothes, okay?
Yes.
And, if it's a stranger, who gives a rip, right? But if it's somebody up close to me, and they have I have a toxic relationship with them, meaning that, like, for instance, if your mother was really shallow and she came in and she's like, well, you're nobody, and, she puts you down, that's somebody that's real close to you, and that really hurts. Even though they're toxic and even though they're completely inappropriate, that hurts. So you need to establish, do I have relationships with healthy people in my closest circles? And I'm guessing you don't. I'm guessing someone inside your closest circle is not a healthy person and is putting this crap on you.
It's a pebble in my shoe.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah, and you know who that you already saw their face while we were talking, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And so really what it is you just have to look at them and go, well, You can act like you were from the South. If you were from the South, you'd look at them and you'd say, bless your heart.
Dave,
which kind of means jump off a cliff, right?
I love that. I know, I love that. But I mean, I could go bankrupt. I could spend all my husband's money trying
to make that person happy about what you own, which is really weird if you think about it. I'm going to make them happy about what I own.
Well, when you put it like that, it does sound rather backwards, doesn't it?
It is, and it's like, like I've got a really nice car I drove down here today from my house, but I don't drive that car because of what anybody else thinks. I drive it because I really like the car, because after what I went through, I'm not really motivated by other people. I don't have any what the Bible calls fear of man, and yet there's people that go, oh, there's starving children are dying because Dave Ramsey bought this nice car, and you know what? If that's you and you're out there listening, you're just a nut, and I don't really care what you think. And so I'm still going to drive my car. And you just got to get to the point that the people that are closest to you, if they're healthy, yeah, I want them to have influence in my life. But to the extent that they're unhealthy, I don't. And I think that's what you've got here. And it's anytime someone's judging you for what you don't have or for what you do have, they need to learn to mind their own business, and they are being toxic. So it's a great book called Boundaries that I think will help you with this. It's a great discussion. I don't know that I've ever had a question posed quite like that. So it's a really interesting way of looking at it. And most of the time it's the other way. It's like, everybody should go be successful, but once you're successful, then everybody hates you because rich people are all evil. And that's usually we talk about that a lot. It's called Gnosticism in the spiritual realm, which is a form of heresy that says that if you have nice things, that if you've been successful and you've acquired some nice things, that automatically that means you're a bad person. Automatically that means you're not spiritual. Automatically that means ... negative thing. And so that's kind of like a warped, toxic form of Christianity. It's called heresy. I talk about that in the book, The Legacy Journey. So I'm going to send you a copy of The Legacy Journey. I'm also going to send you a copy of Boundaries. Read both of them because you're really wrestling with this in a good way, Karen. It's good to wrestle with these theological and philosophical questions. They make us who we are. And I like doing it on the air with you sometimes. It's cool. This is The Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button to get the latest content and check out these other great clips from the show.